And I think we're going live now. Hello, everyone. Greetings from the UK. Greetings from sunny UK. It's beautiful here. Welcome to our session on University for the Creative Arts admissions process. As some of you may be aware, we have made some changes to the admission process. It's more streamlined, more exciting for you guys, so I'm sure you will enjoy it moving forward. So today I have my colleagues joining me here. So Monica, who is the Director of Admissions at Global University Systems. Hi, Monica. And Kasia Krupa, who is Customer Relationship Manager between GUS and University for the Creative Arts.
Hi everyone, hope you're all well.
Hi. Thank you for joining us and thank you for helping with this presentation today. So over to you, Monica, and everyone, please enjoy the presentation. Just few housekeeping rules. You are on mute. If you'd like to ask a question, please type it in the question section and we will read them out later on during the presentation. Okay, thank you all and enjoy.
Thank you, Dagina. Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm not sure where everyone is, so welcome. So first of all, I would like to start with a brief introduction. For those who don't know me, my name is Monica, and I've been part of the GUS since 2007. So as a part of the student support team, I started at London School of Business and Finance. That time, the admissions team was pretty much not in existence. So as such, when the opportunity came, I stepped in. I stepped in a team of one, which was myself, and I never left that team. Time passed by, we had many ups and downs, but by now I have a little empire of almost 120 people located in different locations around the world and overseeing 17 brands within the GUS portfolio. My involvement is significant, especially at the beginning of onboarding new partners and new brands. I need to make sure that our internal systems and processes and procedures are in line with the rest of the GUS processes, as well as the partners universities. Most important, we need to listen. We listen to our partners, we listen to marketing team, we listen to recruitment team, our agents, and trying to agree and establish the efficient process that allow us to bring as many happy and qualified students as your targets are. So what I did, I prepared a bit of presentation, which we're gonna explain exactly what the team is, what we do, and then we will move on to UCA processes. It's the first time I will be sharing anything on Zoom, so fingers crossed. We have got still people in waiting room. Is it okay if I just admit them?
I think so. That should be fine. Thank you, Mom.
We have got still 21 people. Sorry about that. I'm still getting some more in waiting room, guys. So I guess the best would be we're just gonna wait. Hi, everyone, whoever just joined us. You have not missed much. We just introduced ourselves and we will just basically start with the presentation in a minute. I think I have got one more person and that should be all. No, one more. Okay, hopefully I have everyone. You know, if there is anyone I have missed, guys, hopefully, no, there are more. Sorry.
I think maybe let's wait a minute or two.
Yeah, I will.
And then we will start.
Because they are still keep coming. I know I've got
because you are hosting, you can actually admit everyone at the moment. It's not showing on my screen. I would have helped you otherwise.
It's only me.
Sorry, guys.
So I have no one in the waiting room. Shall we give another minute?
I think we should.
Yeah, okay.
I agree.
Are you okay to share your screen, Mon? Are you
I will.
able to do
Yeah,
it? Yeah.
I'm hosting the whole party here, so I'm admitting people. I'll do it. Let me just. I'll stop my video because otherwise it's gonna. Yeah.
Perfect. We can see it. Thank you.
Perfect. Yeah. I'm not sure if I will be able to see people. I need to admit though.
I think we can start, Mon.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Up to you guys. Honestly, I'm just admitting a few more. I've got here. Yeah. Is it okay if I start, guys?
Yes, please. That would be great.
Otherwise, I won't be able to. Yeah. Yep.
Excellent. I think we have most of people who joined, so should be good.
So, okay, if I see anyone, so I will just basically let them join you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So, as I said, I will start with a bit of a presentation what the GAS admissions team is and what we do. I will not go through line by line, but just basically go through a few details. So, in many of the HR institution, admissions will start as a function within the student recruitment team. However, GAS admission sits as a separate entity and is allied to recruitment team. The GAS admissions team has formed as a part of the GAS services since 2012. Each GAS admissions team is considered as the quality keeper or as a filter that makes sure that the GAS partners and owned brand receives a complete file. Sorry, I'm really getting distracted by this. I'm really apologize to everyone. So we are being considered as a quality keeper, as a filter that makes sure that, all GAS partners and institutions are getting the completed file, and the students, they are basically qualified for their schools. Files are provided to the admissions team by the relevant GAS Central Admission Service Recruitment team. Each GAS brand is different, with the GAS admissions team following different admissions requirements. In the admissions team cannot make the final decision on the admissions of any students. The team will work very closely with the partner or GAS own brands. Processes are designed to assure that the partner or brand makes the final decision on all applicants. A preview and filter all applicants before the approval by brand and the relevant schools that GAS admissions relies with recruitments and met the compliance follows. Some GAS brands allow the GAS admissions team to make decisions on the applications. Over time, trust has been gained. Applicants and all relevant documents are shared with the partner pre-enrollment teams. Currently, as I mentioned, we have a team of 120 members. Within the GAS admission teams, they are divided to specific partners or schools, and they are based on the experience and expertise. GAS admissions team members are based in the following locations, such as London, India, Philippines, Toronto, and Prague. So what does admissions team do? Admission process vary per brand. Each brand has different process and requirements, including interactive partnership. Below outlines, but is not limited to work that generally undertake per brand. We register applicants in our internal student record systems. We assess the application eligibility. We follow up with the student cells for missing documents. We interview with the students to assess visa application. We also administrative passport tests for some of the brands within GAS portfolio. We do issue offer letters, visa letters within the agreed brand timelines. We provide admission statistical reporting. This is mainly for the UK-based brand. We follow up with deferrals. We're working with the partners on improving the processes and eligibility. We collect the missing documents during inductions period and update the status of the students. We are very much involved in statistics. And again, this comes especially for the UK-based brand. And we also claiming and providing updated reports on direct students funding from Students' Loans Company. And we're updating and maintaining the student record systems in coordination with the development teams. In the majority of the higher education institutions, admissions will sit as a function within the student recruitment team. GAS admission sits as a separate entity and is not managerized, tied to recruitment team, as mentioned previously. Let me admit a few more. The current page just shows the locations of our current admissions team. So as I mentioned, we have got still team based in London, we have got team in Hyderabad, Manila, Toronto, and Prague. This allows us to process the applications almost within 24 hours on daily basis. And in addition, we will be very soon introducing weekend shift for many brands within the GAS portfolio, which means that we will have a cover also on Saturdays and Sundays. GAS in uni admissions team. So this is the team which is mainly focusing on UCA and other brands within INUDI portfolio. So the admissions team is split per brand, as I mentioned previously, which means that there are dedicated staff members undertaking work for each brand. The director of admissions and deputy, and we manage all brands and processes. They work alongside and supporting a cast of managers, supervisors, and team leaders to ensure the workload is managed around set KPIs for each department. The roles within the UCA admissions team of GAS, we have got admission manager, which is Marie Kaletova. I'm pretty sure that she's on the call as well. Then we do have an admissions team leader, which is Grace. She's based in Hyderabad. And then what I also listed the name of the rest of the team, and the majority of the team are based in our Hyderabad office. What I also prepared is quite important, or some for your reference to know that internally we use, and we use those two email addresses, email accounts. So I'm pretty sure you are familiar with UCA pre-applications email account, which is the email we're getting all offers from UCA directly. In addition, we also created our internal admissions email account, UCA admissions, which is designed to accept any additional documentation coming from the students or agents and inquiries. So we wanted to make sure that we have got two different separate email accounts for those inquiries.
Sorry, Monica, can I just add to that? So guys, whoever is on the call, moving forward as per new process, please use that, Mona, if you're able to go to the previous slide, please use that second email address in case if you want to clarify anything. I know up to date, you have been emailing when chasing on offers or anything to do with the students. You've been emailing international admissions or GAS admissions at UCA. UCA should no longer be emailed. All the documents moving forward, obviously Monica is going to cover that in the later stage today, but are going to go through obviously agents portal, and everything is going to be resolved and answered by us at GAS via that inbox, the second email address. So any queries should be emailed to that. Thanks, Mon.
Thank you, Kasia. So as Kasia mentioned, I will cover this email account because it's quite important, because, you know, as we discussed, the UCA process has changed only recently. So as you all know, we still do have not a legacy students applications. They've been obviously submitted to UCA previously based on the previous process in place, and those applications, they are still in pipeline. And obviously those students, they are not able now to go back to their profile and submit documents to complete their application. So those students, they have been advised by UCA directly that the account, obviously they need to submit applications through the business developer or through the advisor/agents, which means that once you receive those documents from your applicants, you, as Kasia said, you need to send them to this email account. On the other side of this email account is the admissions team, as I mentioned, and we will pick up on those. We do have access to all the records. We know exactly what needs to be submitted for UCA. So we will be able to complete the profile of the students and continue basically to make sure that students gonna basically proceed and to the referral stage and to UOL stage. I hope it clarifies. So this is just basically very briefly to describe exactly how the application process will now work. So you got used to, all of you, just to go on the UCA website, submit applications through there. This is not the case any longer. You will have to follow the new application process, which we put in place. OAF stands for Online Application Form or Online Application Portal. I also understand that we have many agents on this call. So obviously I'm referring to the agent portal, which allows you to submit application by clicking and using, we created basically a new application, online application for UCA students. So by clicking to this application, you will be able to complete applications on student behalf. If the student is a direct student, they will be able to complete applications by themselves. Once the application starts, we will be getting notifications through our Salesforce, which is our recruitment tool and used by recruitment team. This will allow the recruitment team to actually see whether the applicants already started the applications, what is the progress of those applications. Once the students complete the application form, an application is submitted, which means that all the mandatory details of the applications are completed, terms and conditions are signed. So then application comes to us. Us, I refer to admissions team, and we receive this application in the review center. Review center, then it goes to student record system, which is our internal student record system. As you can see, all these systems, internal systems coming from the online application or agent portal, going to Salesforce, which is recruitment team, then review center and SIS, which is the admissions tool. All these systems are synchronized. So any changes made in online applications, we are able to see in the SIS. So I think this is quite important. I think this is one of the reasons why we actually changed the process. So because we wanted to make sure that, the transparency is in place, we fully understand exactly what is required. We collect all the documents for the students. And we're basically trying to make sure that we only send completed files to UCA for them to be able to make a decision within 48 hours and come back to us with unconditional offer letter. Let me just admit a few more. I will move to the next page, which just very briefly explains what the review center is. And it's, in a nutshell, it's basically a bridge between the recruitment tool, which is the Salesforce and agent portal, and us admission, which is the student record system. This is where admissions receive the application. This is where we capture all this information from the students. It's automated. It's coming from the online applications. And we are able, it's basically help us to review and do the kind of like a first brief check on all applications to see what documents we received, whether we received the basics, who is the advisor of the students, who is the agent of the students, who is the BD. And it kind of like it gives us the connection between the Salesforce and the student record system. There are several possible outcomes on the review center. We either accept all the documents, which means that the same communications and notifications go to Salesforce as well as the agent portal. We can partially valid documents, which means that some of the documents which are provided within the application form, which I will be able to demonstrate a bit later to show you. For instance, we are happy with the copy of the passport, but CV needs to be amended or transcript need to be translated. So through this review center, we can actually request those documents and go back to agent BDs to actually get this information from the students. And there might be a situation that the applications will be declined. If this happens, it doesn't happen that often, really occasionally. I cannot think of any scenarios. Most probably, for instance, if the application is not signed or for some reason we receive the incomplete applications, then we would go back to students and ask them to resubmit the whole application. So I will finally move to a step of the process which we created for UCA applicants. So we divided the process to 4 different stages. The first we call conditional offer letter stage. So what does it mean? I'll just go through this step by step. So as I mentioned, first of all, is the online applications. It could be either through the application portal, or it could be through the agent portal. Applicant or agent staff applications. Once the application is completed and submitted, opportunity moves to admission stage in the Salesforce, and application form is visible for admissions team in the review center. GAS admissions team review the applications and provide the feedback to sales team or agents via review center to Salesforce. At review center, we have got 3 possible outcomes. As I mentioned before, it could be either declined, which means that we cannot accept the applications at all. We can partially accept, which means that admission team can accept application file as mandatory documents are submitted. However, not all documents are in correct format, which means, as I mentioned before, we can still go and provide feedback to the sales team or agents via review center, which means that we don't have to send any emails any longer. We can just basically communicate. We can exactly mention why do we ask for these additional documents, what needs to be submitted, why is it needed. So all communication now goes through review center and Salesforce/agent portal. We don't need to send emails any longer. And the last outcome, which calls documents accepted, which means that we have got completed file, we are happy with all the documents, and we can just basically, and again, agents and BDs and recruitment team, they will get the same information from us. So once we complete the initial review in the review center, the profile is created in our student record system, which means that basically data are being pushed to a student's profile system with all the attachments which we received. The ID number is created, advisor is assigned, agent is assigned, BD is assigned. So basically the profile is in order. And at the same time, GAS admission team creates a profile on UCA platform on SITS, which means that almost immediately, once we process the applications in the review center, a member of admissions team, GAS admissions team, goes on UCA portal and create a profile of the applicants on their side. This allows us to receive the COL, conditional offer letter, within 48 hours. I know that we're trying to aim to get it even earlier than that, but at the moment, I'm pretty sure that we are within 48 hours. SIS admission status is then updated in our SIS student record system, and sales opportunity on the Salesforce moves to an offer stage. So I think this is something what we really try to achieve by working with Dagina and Kasia with UCA team, because we understand that offer letter or conditional offer letter is very important for students as well as for the agents to kind of like show the students that the application is in the offer stage and is with the partner university. So as I said, the first most important step, as soon as we receive the applications, we do the basic checks on our side, and as soon as we are completed with those checks, we go on UCA platform and we create a profile on their side, which means that we will then issue the conditional offer letter within 48 hours, and we will then pass the letter on you.
And if I can add, sorry, Mon,
please, honestly, please.
If I can add to everyone on this call, guys, the reason why we've decided to keep things within UCA is because we want it to be very, very streamlined. We want it to be fast. It is very important, as Monica said, that the student receive that COL letter fast. So even though it will be Monica's team that will log the applications, after you guys, your students have logged it onto the application in uni.global.com portal, you will receive all the letters the same as before, which is from UCA, which means you've got the guarantee that COL letter will be reached to your student, will reach your student's inbox very fast. We will still be CC'd in that. We will have a copy of that. And obviously an agent could request a copy of that as well. However, the student will receive it. So there's no change there as per, the turnaround times and so on. Where the positive thing, and I don't know, Monica, if you're heading to that, apologies if I'm running ahead, in terms of the URL, which is the transition from conditional offer letter to unconditional offer letter, is where you guys are really going to save. Because at the moment, as you know, you've all experienced, there are sometimes issues with portal, the portal is blocked, the student can upload documents, and so on and so on. Everything will happen now via admissions, which means there will be no issues whatsoever. A full file will be provided. Once the student receives conditional offer letter, a full file will be provided to admissions alongside with the interview. And I'm not going to run ahead. I will mention this later, but just this is why it will be very important, guys, that the moment the student receives COL, all the documents are provided promptly, because we're not going to be giving those documents one by one to UCA admissions. It's going to be given as a full file. And that interview is scheduled very, very fast, because otherwise you guys may be thinking, oh, it's because of the turnaround times I'm waiting. It will just be the fact that it needs to be a full file for the student to receive unconditional offer. So that's why I just wanted to add on my side. Sorry, Mon.
No, very valid point. Thank you so much, Kasia. And obviously you have been in this process since day one. So I think it's very important to get your input as well. So thank you so much for that, because you can see those changes. So as Kasia mentioned, everyone, students will get the conditional offer letter. We will be copied. And in addition, we will be uploading those letters under the student's profile in the student record system, which means that those offer letters will be also available for agents to download on the agent portal. So this is just I wanted to mention as well. So as Kasia mentioned, now it's becoming I think the most important part of the process, which is the document collection stage. And I think at this stage, we basically need to make sure that we receive the rest of the documents which are actually required for unconditional offer letter. So GAS admission team will be actually in touch with the sales team, agents, BDs, in order to actually receive the outstanding documents to receive the unconditional offer letter. All documents will be submitted to us via Salesforce or your agent portal to review center, which means that the Salesforce and the agent portal is actually open documents collection. So it's going to be very clear exactly what needs to be submitted. You just need to go on the portal, attach the documents, submit them to us, and we will receive them on our side. Once the file is completed, internal suitability interview takes place. GAS admissions team applies the status which says ready for suitability interview. This admission status will be also available on the Salesforce as well as the agent portal. So you will be also able to see the status of the students. You will see that obviously admissions team, they have got now all the documents that were required, and now the suitability interview will take the place. As Kasia mentioned, there is another session for the suitability interview taking place this week. So I will leave it on her to actually go through everything in details. As she said, the team is ready to be able to accommodate the need. The interviews, they are being arranged within 24-48 hours. But as I said, she will go definitely more in details with you.
So just to add, Mon, as a last point, and I know I started on it earlier, guys, it is completely within your hands how quickly you get your offer. I know there has been issues previously, and I'm not going to hide here. I know there has been issues in terms of COL to URL. All the documents, in order to get your offer from COL to URL fast, you need to provide all documents ASAP and arrange interview ASAP. Don't wait until all documents are collected. Try to arrange your interview as soon as. We have spaces available. There's a link that Dagina will share with you or would have shared with you already. The process doesn't change when it comes to suitability interview. It's the same as last intake. We're going to go into detail about that on Thursday. But once that full file is collected, including your interview, you're going to get your unconditional offer very, very fast. So this is where we kind of, the process is really changing and is much better. But there is also obviously a responsibility that lies within you guys in terms of just making sure that all documents are collected swiftly, quickly, and that suitability interview is booked quickly, because otherwise the student won't get their URL. Thanks, Mom.
Thank you. No, thank you so much, Kasia. And what I would like to add to this collection stage, and I think this is something what I mentioned in I think the previous slides. there's a difference between the applications that have been submitted to UCA previously. So obviously this process that we are trying to describe is really suited and focus on those applicants starting from this new online application form or agent portal. However, we still have a responsibility to actually make sure that we complete the files of those applicants submitted application previously. And for that reasons, we created this new email account, which again, I think we will be sharing with you just for you to understand, because the students, they know exactly what needs to be submitted because they are not able to submit those documents to UCA directly. They will be sending them to you and you will be sending them to us. We will then make sure that the profiles is completed. And again, the profile of the students is going to be already in the system, so we will be able to communicate with you, so you will be able to monitor the process of those students as well.
And I think, Mon, you reminded me, guys, there may be some confusion from the students that have previously provided some documents via student portal, or maybe have created an application a couple months ago before we obviously moving into this new process. Please just clear any doubts. So if the student is logging into their portal and they cannot see the function to upload anymore, just explain to them that the reason why you can't see the function to upload anymore, because everything will happen through the new process. So you will need to provide your documents to that email address that Monica provided earlier, or if they're able to upload that to Salesforce, Monica, you can clarify on that, I guess. But you know, it will happen now through the new process rather than them trying to upload it via portal. Portal would have been blocked for everyone now. So they can only download their offer letter from there, but they won't be able to upload any more documents, whether they've applied a couple months ago or whether they're applying just now.
Thank you, Kasia. So now we move to the referral stage, which is going to be our favorite part, because at this point we have everything ready for the students. We have completed files, students, they passed the interview, suitability interview, and we are ready to send all the documents to UCA admissions team. So we do currently share those documents via OneDrive. There is a clear process between us and them. Same with the suitability interview, and in case the portfolio is required, applicants will be advised to log into UCA portal and upload as per instructions provided by UCA. So just the portfolio still remains the same, but I believe that it's going to be very clear for the students that, you know, in case the portfolio is required, they will have to go back on the portal and just upload this portfolio. Once we upload all the documents which we received to UCA, they will issue unconditional offer letter within 48-72 hours latest. And GAS admission team update the admission status by relevant feedback from UCA. So again, students will get unconditional offer letter. We will be copied in the email. We will be uploading this offer letter under the student's profile, and you will be able to download the letter on your side as well. And now I would like to also cover the post-referral stage, which means that the applicant is required to accept the offers, UCA confirm payment receipt, and then we're moving to the CAS process, which actually still remains the same. So students receive the CAS Shield information. UCA pre-CAS interview will take the place. Students is then required to upload required documents to CAS Shield. That's going to support the CAS issuance, and then CAS documents are reviewed by UCA team. They are being assessed, and if everything is in order and UCA is happy to proceed, they will then release the CAS letter to students. And I believe that that's pretty much it, what I plan to cover in this initial stage and of this presentation. So
perfect. Thank you very much, Monica. That's been really helpful. If you do have any questions, if you can please type it in the chat section and we can read them out. Yes, so we will send a copy of the presentation. We can send a copy of the recording as well. Okay. Any questions? Feel free to ask.
What I also wanted to show, so obviously I described all the steps quite in detail. So what we also prepared a flow chart. It might be useful for you to actually understand the step of the process in the, a little bit different way of presenting. So it kind of shows exactly who is taking responsibility for. So for what step of the process, we can see we've got agent portal application form, we've got a Salesforce, we have got review center and SIS, which is basically coordinated by us. And then we have got UCA SITS and CAS Shield. So I think this also is going to help to actually see what team does what and in which system.
Definitely, yes. If we can have a copy of that, please.
Yes, definitely.
Great. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, so I think we have a question here. So if an agent is making an application, do they have separate username and password? So agents would need to make an application via GAS Gateway, which is ultimately GAS Agent Portal. For you to have access to GAS Agent Portal, you would need to receive a username and password, yes. And for you to receive them, you would need to have an active agency agreement. So please do reach out to your relevant business developer if you haven't received those, so that we can look into it further. But we need to make sure, obviously, the agency agreement is finalized, meaning that we've gone through the reference check, etc. And then the next stage would be for you to receive the partner portal access and start submitting applications via the agent portal. Okay, next question from Sibel. Okay, Mon, so how would it work for students who apply via UCA? So that's mainly for undergraduate applicants, I assume. How would they proceed with uploading portfolio? Would it be still by UCA student portal?
Yeah, this portfolio will be definitely by UCA portal still. We will be getting notifications from UCA about those students. We'll be getting a separate report of those students submitting application directly through UCAS. But in terms of the portfolio, the students basically will have a profile with UCA and they will be required to submit portfolio via portal.
Excellent, thank you. Right, okay. If there are missing documents, would there be an email generated and sent to the student or agent?
As I mentioned, we will be communicating through the agent portal. So as you said, Dagina, the only applications can be submitted through the agent portal, which means that when the admissions team is going to request the documents, you will be getting this notification on your portal. So you will be able to see what exactly needs to be submitted. And then you will be able to submit those documents via agent portal to us.
Excellent, thank you. Perfect.
I'm happy to show, if you believe that I should, I can show the review center how it shows, how it looks, this feedback from admissions, if you believe it's relevant for this call. I'm happy to show it, but we might need Kyla and her team for the agent portal.
Yeah, so we did have the agent portal training earlier for those agents, obviously, who are eligible to have access to the agent portal. So I think that should have covered the actual portal itself. But if you do have more information on the review center itself, yes, please feel free to share. I think
so. I'll just show just a few examples, if you allow me, very quickly, because I'm also concerned about the time. Yeah. So it's UCA portal. So what I will trying to demonstrate to everyone how the feedback looks like. So just pick random students here.
Okay.
So this is the review center. I mentioned that when we receive the applications and admissions team provide a feedback for the students. So this is actually, I hope you can see my screen clearly. But admissions team, they provided feedback to these applicants. So you can see, for instance, we ask for the letter of recommendation. We ask them to upload final certificates. We ask to upload the transcript as well as proof of English. So the comments you can see on the right hand side in here, those are the documents you will see on your agent portal. So when you open the profile on the agent portal of this applicant, of your applicants, you will be able to see, okay, I submitted application for my students. I can see the documents are partially valid, which means that application is still incomplete. At this point, you should already have a COL, because as we said, COL will come by default because it's going to be done within 48 hours, no matter what documents being submitted. However, this profile is still incomplete. So what you should do as agents or working with BDs or students, you will need to go back to the students and request those documents from them and submit against your agent portal. So once you're going to submit all these documents, this will automatically come to Review Center again to us. Let's see if we have got anything here. And it will come as an update. We don't have anything available because we don't have any updates, but basically it will come to us as a updated information to the student. So we will be able to open it. We will see that we receive some updates on this side. We'll be able to open the application for the student, and we will be able to see that we received all the documents which we asked for. So for instance, you can see that this is the update which we received from the agents, and we received this document. So again, we will be able to provide it. And once everything is in order, as you can see, these applicants, which means that we have got all the documents ready for UOL or for the suitability interview. So it will show that all documents, they've been valid. You will get exactly the same information on your agent portal. So you can kind of calm down, you know that only suitability interview needs to take the place. And then everything should be in order to get UOL.
Excellent. Yeah, looks quite clear. Perfect. Thank you. Right. So there is a question from Sushma. So during the whole process, will we be communicating with GAS team only or with UCA admissions team?
It should be GAS admissions team only.
Perfect. So as long as obviously you submit the application via GAS partner portal, which will be the only way for you to submit UCA applications moving forward, you will then receive the confirmation of obviously registration of this application. And then the next stage, obviously, the offer letter from GAS team. So there is no need for you to really reach out to UCA admissions team because everything will be done via GAS. So
may
hopefully,
I add, sorry,
yeah.
Dagina, just to add to that answer, the reason, guys, it doesn't make sense anymore, anyone emailing UC admissions, because as you probably would have noticed, there have been certain emails that you've no, we're just covering this now, and UC admissions have now then pushed you back to GAS because we're reviewing all documents and we're involved and in the middle of the process now. It will be basically sent back to us anyway, so it doesn't make any sense you emailing. It's better you just come directly to Monica and her team to ask for an update, and she'll be able to give you that via that UCA at gas.global, sorry, UCA pre-applications at gas.global email.
Perfect. Thank you, Kasia. Okay, I think there was a question in addition to the one previously asked on UCAS application. So Sibel is asking, but new applications that have been submitted via UCA, you probably mean via GAS portal, will not have an access to student portal to upload documents?
They don't anymore. As we said, the students, you will have to submit documents for those students through us. So it's going to be either this email address, which we mentioned. I think we need to definitely share it after this presentation with everyone, with BDs especially. So we will be able to get documents via this email account, and we will be then completing the profile of those students.
Perfect. All right. So I think the only thing that can be uploaded is the portfolio, right?
Correct. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, to use the applicant portal.
So guys, just to clarify that, because I think there is a confusion there. Any applications that were made back in the day, so let's say a couple months back before the new process, you will email the email address that Monica just mentioned, which we'll provide at the end of this presentation. And any new applications, naturally, you provide the documents via the new process, and I believe it will be there, will be the agent's portal, right, Monica?
That's correct, exactly.
Okay, excellent. Right, so there is a question on precursor interviews. It might be for Kasia. So how many rounds of interviews are conducted in total? And just to mention, Khushbu, we are having a separate session on suitability interviews this Thursday, 11 a.m. UK time. So if you'd like to attend that session on suitability interview, that would be great. But if you want to mention anything on that, Kasia?
So in terms of precursor interviews, guys, the process stays the same. So you're looking at GAS suitability interview before the unconditional offer is issued. And please bear in mind that it is before the unconditional offer. So unless that's done, you will not, the student won't get unconditional offer. And then as it stands at the moment, there is a precursor interview as it was previously in the process. However, please bear in mind is that we are currently reviewing the process with UCA. So there may be some changes. And if there are any changes in terms of that, Dagina will definitely be informing you. At the moment, it is still the same as before. So GAS suitability interview prior to UOL and then precursor interview at later stage.
Okay, thank you. Right. Okay, there is a question from Sunil. So may I know how to process the old applications which were applied through UCA website earlier prior to GAS system coming into the picture?
So to answer that question, you would need to email, just a clear email to that email that we've just mentioned, to say, hi, this is an application that was logged in on this day or was previously logged in. Please see GAS admissions. Please see the following documents attached. Please process my applications ASAP. So please do not email, as I said earlier, international admissions or UCA admissions or any other UCA inboxes. Just email it directly to the gas.global. I believe it's the UCA pre-applications at gas.global email with listed documents and attached documents, and we'll definitely process that ASAP for you.
Okay,
excellent. But just to add to this, Dagina and Kasia, all students who submitted applications to UCA, even we launched this new process, we now have a profile in our student record system. So by end of this week, we'll be able to provide reports of all these students. So it's going to be for your reference. It's Kasia, it's basically for everyone. You will see exactly the pipeline of all students for September, October next year or the coming year. So all the students, they will be already in pipeline. So if the advisors or BDs, they have got access to the system, they will be able to see those applications there as well already.
Okay, so yeah, agents would have this appearing within GAS partner portal as well.
This is what we are working with Kyla and her team to be able to see them as well, to kind of like backdate them there. So at least to kind of like update the pipeline, because otherwise they would not, they would not know exactly who was then, new, old. So I think this is what we are working on, just to make it clear for everyone.
Okay, perfect. So this leads me to also note here to our partners, please to inform our relevant BDs about your application pipeline. So the ones UCA, just to make sure we have them tagged to the right agency as well. So that's for those applicants who you obviously submitted to UCA directly previously and might not have had a chance to inform our relevant business developers yet. So please inform them as soon as possible. Okay, so what are the mandatory documents required for issuance of conditional offer letter?
So there is none.
Just application form.
So guys, it's very, very easy. That's why you're going to get the COL very quickly. Now, where the documents come in is before you get your unconditional offer letter, hence why it's so important you have it ready ahead of the time to get that UOL quickly. You don't need to provide nothing for COL, apart from just having the information about their educational background and so on, and filling all of that in the application form.
Okay, so application form and passport. Yes, perfect. Thank you, Marie. Okay, so there is a question in regards with study gap. So for students applying for undergraduate degree, I assume, so because it's asking about higher secondary school certificate. So how much study gap can we possibly allow?
So I think that's a very, very valid question. As per new developments, guys, what we would like to be aiming for is that for undergraduate applicants, we're looking at a 2-year study gap, and for postgraduate, 4-year study gap, not longer for both. So if we can please just, you know, we will accept extenuating circumstances if you can really show a good case to Dagina. However, I would really strongly recommend that we avoid that we are looking at just those applicants with those study gaps. As you know, guys, and I'll be super transparent here, and I'll be mentioning that in the Thursday session, our visa rejection rate was very high for October. We have to be very careful in terms of, you know, the quality of the applications that we're bringing in, the preparation of the candidates, and so on. And then obviously there are genuine reasons for joining University for the Creative Arts.
Okay, so do we simply reject students who had UK visit visa refusals previously?
We said, as per previous discussions, guys, that, you know, anyone with previous visa refusals, we would like to not put forward. If there is a strong, again, extenuating case, I'm more than happy to look at it, and UCA will look at it. However, guys, let's please not make that, you know, a habit. Let's just only put forward the cases where we strongly believe that this student, you know, maybe had a review or a case review or something like that, where we know that, you know, this student won't get rejected. It is very important that obviously we do our business while also maintaining university's license, which obviously, as you all know, at the moment is a tricky situation for a lot of universities all over the world in terms of UKVI tightening measures. And you know, and this is why these decisions are actually happening.
Okay, thank you, Kasia. So study gap, does it also include students' employment?
So I think that again goes back to, you know, we would like to stick to the 2 for UJ and 4 for PJ. Of course, student employment counts. As you know, MBA requires work experience anyway. You know, there are some courses that require work experience. And if it is an MBA applicant, I think we'd be willing to look at it. You know, if there is a strong case and you can genuinely see that student, you know, shows a very, very strong case, has got a lot of experience. However, you need to be convinced after, as an agent or as a BD or at whatever stage of the business you are, that this is a very, very strong case. Any cases other than that, you know, will not be put through, guys.
Perfect. Thank you, Kasia. So there was a question about IELTS requirements. Obviously, it depends which program your students are applying for, whether it's foundation, where you need to provide UKVI IELTS or UKVI Pearson, or it's undergraduate, direct entry, or postgraduate, where students can also provide academic IELTS. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a link here where you can see IELTS requirements depending on the program your students are applying for. So hopefully that helps you to answer the question, but you can also reach out to your relevant business developer in your region if it's a specific case you want to discuss, and they can look into it for you. Okay. And
as I said, Dagina, earlier, we can do another entry criteria session in the next couple of weeks. And obviously we'll cover all the interviews in detail on this Thursday and UKVI part as well. And I'll touch on the study gaps again on Thursday.
Perfect. Thank you, Kasia. So Khushbu, just to answer your question as well, like Kasia just mentioned, we will have a separate session. We will also be sending out an announcement on updated entry requirements in regards with MOI, perhaps, that you mentioned, because this is still being reviewed by the university and we want to have a clear picture before we get back to you with an answer. Okay, so please stay tuned and we'll keep you posted on further updates on that. But just to note, for our partners in India, there is no MOI being accepted from states of Punjab and Haryana. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Khushbu. I think that's pretty much it. We've covered all the questions here. So thank you so much once again, Monica and Kasia, for the training session. It's really helpful, and thank you everyone for attending. And the recording will be shared with yourselves, but if you do have any further questions, like I mentioned, feel free to reach out to your relevant business developer, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you so much, Dagina. Good luck, everyone. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you on Thursday.
Thank you, everyone. Yes,
thank you all. Have a good day.
Please join us on Thursday, 11 a.m. UK time. I hope you've received the registration link, and we'll be talking about suitability interviews, which is really important, obviously, to make sure your students are well prepared. Okay.
Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Mary, Monica, Dagina.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Bye-bye.